Hello, my name is Sylvia. I have been on keto for 10 months now, and I get asked frequently about the foods that I make and if I can make a video showing, one of the recipes. So fathead dough is a very simple recipe. You can find it anywhere on Pinterest. You can find it on Instagram, and there's many different variations of fathead dough, but I'm very simplistic. I like something that's easy to make, that requires very little ingredients, and flat out just easy. So I'm gonna make two different variations of keto bagels using the fathead dough recipe. I'm gonna do one that's everything bagel, and then the other one is gonna be a jalapeno cheddar bagel, but also everything bagel. You'll see. Super easy. But before we start, make sure that you have just these 4, 5, maybe 6 or 7 ingredients. The first is going to be mozzarella. You want to have shredded mozzarella. I like to get this from Costco. It comes in 2 bags for like 12 bucks. Super cheap, and it's a big bag. That will probably last me like a month or 2, depending on how often I'm baking or cooking. Another thing you want to get is almond flour. Also my favorite to get from Costco. That's what it looks like here. Also roughly around 12 bucks. Pretty big bag, lasts me a really long time. Bang for your buck for sure. Another thing you want to have is baking powder. I have it behind me. I'm not going to necessarily just grab it, but I'll show you later on. Baking powder. And you also want to have an egg. 1 egg. Depending on how you want to flavor your bagels, if you want to do everything bagel, then you want to get everything seasoning. I'm going to pause for just a quick second, and I'm going to go grab the rest of the ingredients. That's what I get for being lazy. So this is the everything bagel seasoning that I use. I get this also from Costco. It's about 5 bucks for this big thing. I know a lot of people are fans of the one from Trader Joe's. If you prefer that one, go for it. It's like $3 for a really small one. And this is 5 bucks, and it's huge. So bang for your buck. And then baking powder. Any kind of baking powder from anywhere, any grocery store. They're super cheap, like $1 or $2. Also lasts a really long time, and it's a necessity to have if you do plan on baking not only keto goodies, but like regular goodies as well. Alright, so the first thing you want to do is you want to grab 3 cups of the mozzarella cheese. I have it here. And you just want to go ahead and measure that into one of your measuring cups. I just use one that's a cup. I think I got these measuring cups at Walmart, super cheap. Again, I like to be very budgeted. And you're just going to dump that into a microwave safe bowl. I just use this one. Now after you have the mozzarella cheese in here, you're going to microwave it in intervals of about 20 to 30 seconds until it gets to about like a very gooey consistency. So I'm going to go microwave it, and I'll be back. Okay, so this is what the mozzarella should look like after it's been microwaved. I think I microwaved mine for about a minute in total. And while it's melted, you want to go ahead and put the almond flour in there super quick. For the almond flour, it's going to be 1.5 cups of almond flour. So I have about a cup here, a little bit more, and then half a cup. And then once that's in with the mozzarella, you're going to want to just stir it. I used to use a fork, but then I got the idea from another person who makes keto recipes. This is actually the recipe that head dough recipe that I got from. Her name is Emily, and it's keto.coffee on Instagram, and she kneads it with this. I guess it's a lot like faster than using a fork like I was doing, and it is gonna get pretty stiff. It's not like normal dough, so you're gonna want to knead it out. So let me pause this and show you how I do it. So you're gonna want to get in there with your hands. God, this is hard. I'm new to all of this. I don't know how to Instagram, I don't know how to YouTube, and I definitely don't know how to film and record. So any tips, I greatly appreciate, and I appreciate you for watching anyway. So I break it down, and I just try to get, oh crap. I try to get it all incorporated. pop it back once it's good. So once the dough gets a little bit harder to, you know, navigate and maneuver, and it gets stuck with the almond flour, then that's when I like to add the baking powder. It's going to be 1 teaspoon of baking powder. Just dump that in there. And then the egg. The egg will really help kind of like mesh the almond flour and the mozzarella together to give it more of that dough consistency. It's really weird during the process, but I promise it's bomb. Okay, once that's kind of mixed in, I'm just gonna wash my hands. That way I can open the everything but the bagel seasoning and pour it in there. So I do not like to get shicey with the everything but the bagel seasoning. I put a lot. We'll say about that much. Mix it and then see how it looks. I personally absolutely love the everything but the bagel seasoning inside of the bagel as opposed to on top, which is what a lot of other recipes call for keto bagels, because I feel like it grasps the flavor a lot better. There are also fathead dough recipes that require cream cheese or recommend that you put cream cheese. I used to make them like that. This is actually my first time that I'm using Emily's recipe to use it for the bagels. I usually will use her recipe for pizza or for empanadas or something of that sort. But I think to omit the cream cheese might be nice since I'm already going to be putting cream cheese on top of the bagel when I eat it. Another way I like to eat these bagels are making it kind of like a breakfast bagel. So with some ham, with some bacon, some cheese, and egg. Really, really good. And you're just going to incorporate all of that. Looks like this. If you go to Emily's page, her dough comes out like a ball and it's beautiful. Mine has never came out like that in the 10 months that I've been attempting this fathead dough recipe. So I kind of just let it be. I know that like she'll mention probably chunks of like mozzarella not like fully broken down. But I mean, honestly, after it bakes, I don't really notice a difference. I'm pretty sure it doesn't look as beautiful as hers do. But hey, a bagel is a bagel. Next, we are going to get the dough, and I like to get little pieces. It's your preference if you prefer to make really big bagels or smaller bagels. I like to make mine a little bit more smaller just for portion control, and also they last me longer. This could last me like a week depending on if I share or not. The best way to roll out fathead dough, because it does get sticky, is with kind of damp / wet hands. So when you feel the dough starting to stick on your fingers or on your hand as you roll it out, then you know that it's time to wet your hands a bit. And I just like to roll it. It doesn't have to be super even in my opinion, but if you're a perfectionist, go ahead and do it however you want. And then you're going to form it into like a bagel, like this. And you're just going to continue to do that until the dough is gone. And if any pieces like that fall, just put it back in. And I like to bake my bagels on a mat like this. Saves time and money from having to buy parchment paper. I used to bake them with foil, and that was like a big mess. They would just get stuck to the foil. So parchment paper or one of these mats, I don't know what the proper name of it is, but yeah, they help.
Just delicious.
All right, so after I make the little bagel molds, I pop some cheddar cheese inside. Well, this is like a Colby Jack actually, and some slices of jalapeno. So these are going to be the jalapeno cheddar ones. If you want to opt out of jalapeno or extra cheese, you would just make the bagel mold and then just bake it like that. But I'm trying to be a little extra, and it tastes really, really good if you like a little kick. So these are going to go in the oven at 325 for about 10 to 15 minutes. Just continue to check on it. Fathead dough does cook a little bit differently than like regular dough would. So you just want to make sure it's not burning. So I'll check back in with you when they're finished. Alright guys, so the bagels are out of the oven and I did let them cool a little bit. This is the finished result. What I did here was the everything but the bagel seasoning inside of the dough, and I put some cheddar cheese inside, or some Colby Jack, whatever it is, and some sliced jalapenos on the outside, and just press them into the dough and bake them. Because I did do the cheddar and jalapeno, I know that I had mentioned a little bit earlier that the cook time was about 10 to 15 minutes, but these ones it did require a little bit more bake time, so in total it was about 20 minutes or so. I feel like I did maybe bake them a little bit too much. They are a little crispy, but that is my preference. It's the way that I like them. I have friends who prefer them a little bit more soft, a little bit more doughy. It is whatever you want. Try it soft, try it hard. Like I said, it's really cheap and easy to make. You really can't mess this up. And if you do, trial and error. Just try again next time. All right, I'll see you on the next episode.